Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, December 9th through Saturday, December 15th, beginning with the Christian calendar, and Wednesday, December 12th, the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Or some people may say Guadalupe. I don't know. I'm going to read a little bit about her from www.franciscanmedia.org. The story of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The feast in honor of Our Lady of Guadalupe goes back to the 16th century. Chronicles of that period tell us the story. A poor Indian named Cuauhtémoc was baptized and given the name Juan Diego. He was a 57-year-old widower and lived in a small village near Mexico City. On Saturday morning, December 9th, in the year 1531, which is a 613 transpose, which equals 19, he was on his way to a nearby barrio to attend Mass in honor of Our Lady. Juan was walking by a hill called Tepeyac when he heard beautiful music like the warbling of birds. A radiant cloud appeared, and within it stood an Indian maiden dressed like an Aztec princess. The lady spoke to him in his own language and sent him to the Bishop of Mexico, a Franciscan named Juan de Zumarraga. The bishop was to build a chapel in the place where the lady appeared. Eventually, the bishop told Juan to have the lady give him a sign. About this same time, Juan's uncle became seriously ill. This led poor Juan to try to avoid the lady. Nevertheless, the lady found Juan, assured him that his uncle would recover, and provided roses for Juan to carry to the bishop in his cape or tilma. On December 12th, when Juan Diego opened his tilma in the bishop's presence, the roses fell to the ground and the bishop sank to his knees. On the tilma where the roses had been, appeared an image of Mary exactly as she had appeared on the hill of Tepeyac. Mary's appearance to Juan Diego as one of his people is a powerful reminder that Mary and the God who sent her accept all peoples. In the context of the sometimes rude and cruel treatment of the Indians by the Spaniards, the apparition was a rebuke to the Spaniards and an event of vast significance for the indigenous population. While a number of them had converted before this incident, they now came in droves. According to a contemporary chronicler, 9 million Indians became Catholic in a very short time. In these days, when we hear so much about God's preferential option for the poor, Our Lady of Guadalupe cries out to us that God's love for and identification with the poor is an age-old truth that stems from the gospel itself. Our Lady of Guadalupe is the patron saint of the Americas and Mexico. On the Hebrew calendar, as I mentioned in last week's reading, Hanukkah began on the 3rd. So this first day for this reading, the 9th, would be day 7 of Hanukkah. But it is also the first day or the start of the Hebrew month of Tevet in the year 5779. So I will read a little about that too from www.shabbat.org. The month of Tevet is the 10th month on the Jewish calendar, counting from Nisan. Its name, which is mentioned in the book of Esther, was acquired in Babylonia and shares a root with the Hebrew word tov, meaning good, or tav, like mazel tov. This month begins with the last days of Hanukkah. By internalizing the message of the ever-increasing lights of the menorah, reminding us that the power over good over evil, we are able to reveal the good that is hidden in our lives and in the world around us. The 10th of Tevet is a fast day commemorating the start of the siege of Jerusalem in the year 3336 or 425 BCE, which led to the destruction of the first Holy Temple. 2.5 years later, on the 9th of Av. On a fast day, the divine attribute of mercy is able to be drawn down into this world. By fasting over the destruction of the temple, one sweetens God's anger with Israel, the cause of destruction. Our sages explain, quote, every generation for which the temple is not rebuilt is as though the temple was destroyed for that generation, end quote. As such, a fast day is not really a sad day, but an opportune day. It's a day when we're empowered to fix the cause of that first destruction so that our long exile will end and we will find ourselves living in messianic times. May that be very soon. So that was the story or the explanation of what the month of Tevet is. And on the same day of the month, December 9th, that Tevet begins in the Hebrew calendar, we also have the month of Rabi al-Thani beginning the Islamic calendar, the Muslim calendar, also December 9th. So there's not really necessarily much about this month, but I'll tell you what's here. So this is from wikipedia.org, this particular piece. The Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar, and months begin with the first crescent of the new moon, when that is sighted. Since the Islamic lunar calendar year is 11 to 12 days shorter than the tropical year, Rabi al-Thani migrates throughout the seasons. The estimated start and end dates for the month are as follows, and then it tells you there if you want to know. So this year, which is the year 1440, as in the 144,000, begins again on December 8th, so at sundown, and that'll be the same thing for the Hebrew month. And then the 9th is the first full day. And it ends on January 6th in 2019. There are some events that are particularly important to Muslims around the world during this month. The birth of different ministers. On, for example, the 10th, is it the 10th or the 12th, was the death of Fatima bint Musa. Now, that is not Muhammad's daughter Fatima. This is another Fatima who is very important to Shia Muslims in particular. She is called Fatima the Innocent also. None of that is here, but I know that to be true. Somebody can correct me if they think I'm wrong, but I know that to be true. Fatima, as I mentioned when I was talking about the Prophet Muhammad and his daughter, means the shining one. So it's kind of like the illumined one, right? Or the lighted one. Again, maybe a connection to the 144. And this being, this is again year 144 or 1440. Something else that occurred during this month, on the 11th, they had the death of the Sufi sheikh who is believed to be the saint of saints. I'm just skipping over some. The 28th or 29th, the death of Ibn Arabi, the great philosopher from Spain, who died and rests in Damascus, Syria. So, Damascus, which is popular in Christian belief too because of Paul, right, in the road to Damascus. So there's like, going back to Wikipedia as opposed to from the top of my head, there's a little, I guess it'd be like a diagram of the months, and it tells what each month means. So it begins in what for us would have been September, Muharram. And it says that Muharram means forbidden. And it is a sacred month, so called because the battle and all kinds of fighting are forbidden. They are haram during this month. Muharram includes Ashura, the 10th day. And so it's a very holy month, basically. So that was September. October would have been Safar, which means void. Supposedly named this because pre-Islamic Arab houses were empty this time of year while their occupants gather food. Another account relates that they used they used to loot the houses of their enemies after defeating them in battle, leaving nothing behind. So that's why it's called void. Last month was Rabi al-Awwal, November, and it's the first spring. So it sounds funny talking about spring when we're here freezing. Well, I'm in New York. It's like 30 degrees here right now. We keep going up and down. Anyway, it also means to graze because cattle were grazed during this month. It's also a very holy month and celebration for many Muslims, as it is the month in which the Prophet Muhammad was born. So I talked about that November, and particularly November 19th. And now this month again is Rabi al-Thani, and it just says the second spring, and that's it. It's like almost every month here has a full description or a note, and this one has none. So I guess it's not, that's it. I just wanted to tell you guys what was actually there. And now I'm going to go to the celestial calendar. So back to December 9th. So on December 9th, we have the Hebrew month beginning and the Islamic month beginning. And we also have at 2:52 a.m. Chiron going direct. Chiron, which has been retrograde for like a year, seriously, beginning in Aries and then moving to Pisces, is finally going direct. 27 degrees 54. So 9. Wait a minute. There's more nines. So I said it's December 9th, right? December 9th. That's the first 9. At 2:52 a.m. That's also 9. At 27 degrees 54. 9. So that may mean something when the day comes. On the 12th at 6:43, Mercury enters Sagittarius. And then on the 15th, which is the last day for which this reading period is, although anybody watching it whenever, if I'm sure you'll get a message if you go ahead and watch it, but I'm just labeling it for this week's general. At 6:11 a.m., Uranus semi-square Neptune. So beginning with Chiron direct, I'm going to read from radiant-astrology.com/Chiron-direct-expression-your-soul-intent. I'm not familiar with this woman or this blog. It's just completely arbitrary. I typed in Chiron direct and I clicked on this one. She begins it with a quote from Iyanla Vanzant, which is, "A wound needs a witness." Chiron, the soul healer and maverick planet, stations direct today at 16 degrees Pisces, having been in retrograde since June 24th. I thought it was longer than that. Is this maybe this is old? Maybe this isn't for this year when she wrote this. I don't see where I can find out what the date of this is. Anyway, I'm currently putting the finishing touches. Well, maybe retrograde did start on the 24th, but Chiron was in Aries, it feels like, for like a year. Anyway, I'm currently putting the finishing touches on a Chiron webinar I'm creating as a guest astrologer for K-Pacha's new paradigm community. And what I've learned about Chiron in the process has been nothing short of mind-blowing. In ancient Greek mythology, Chiron was the great mentor who taught sons of kings and trained heroes. He was wounded in battle by a poisoned arrow, but being an immortal demigod, he couldn't die and suffered much pain. In his attempts to heal his wound, he made many miraculous healing discoveries. This is how he got the name Wounded Healer. In the end, Chiron renounced his immortality so that he could die and finally be at peace. Okay, she left the piece out. He didn't just renounce it. He gave his immortality to Prometheus, who was also suffering. He wanted him to be healed and to live, and he wanted to, yes, die and be at peace. If we apply this story to our human experience, we'll see that Chiron is more than just an unhealed wound that we are forever burdened with. If practiced with intention, it can be the source of our greatest creations. This is also why Chiron is often considered a maverick. Where people often get stuck is when they remain in a place of woundedness. Chiron is actually about transcending the wound experience, new soul territory. Actually, Chiron in Aries, where he's been, well, he's been in Pisces too, but the Aries part I know because that's where my natal Chiron is, Aries. We are the fall down and get back up people. So we do this. We don't get stuck in woundedness. We keep it moving. So maybe that's what this year has been about in particular. There are many parallels to shamanism with Chiron. The term shaman means one who sees in the dark. The shamanic practice of soul retrieval is healing illness by recalling parts of our souls that were lost during traumatic experience. In doing so, one becomes and achieves a renewed state of wholeness. Chiron wants us to humble ourselves to forces greater than us. Surrender. That's what that means. Such as when Chiron gave up his demigod status in order to finally find peace. Only in the humbling can we truly be of service and tap into our soul gifts. The Chiron stationing direct is occurring as the sensitive moon in Cancer pulls at our emotions and tender hearts. Okay, the moon will be in Cancer on the 15th. I know that to be true too. So maybe this, okay, so maybe this is for this period. We're also in the exact waning square of Saturn-Neptune, a crisis of consciousness at a global level. We're coming to understand that the collective soul healing is what the world needs now. As Iyanla Vanzant says, a wound needs a witness. When a planet stations direct, we get a sense of what they bring to our lives, and the forward motion indicates outward expression. Allow your soul intent to truly come into expression at this time and be witnessed. Another interesting fact is that Chiron is classified as both a centaur planet and a comet. Yes, a comet tail was discovered in 1993. How's that for a maverick? So since I mentioned, or she mentioned first, leading me to mention where the moon is going to be on the 15th, let me just quickly go over where it's going to be, period, during the time of this reading. So on the 8th at 12:01 p.m. it enters Capricorn. Stays there till the 10th at 11:39 p.m. when it enters Aquarius. December 13th at 12:39 p.m. it enters Pisces. And then it will keep moving. All right. Oh, wait, maybe Pisces is what I was thinking about and not Cancer. Oh, yeah, that must be. So, yeah, I think that she wrote that another time, not this year. It doesn't matter. Chiron is direct and it means the same thing. And she did talk about Pisces, and that is where it is this year. I'm so confused by that. What I just read as far as the timing, but I don't think it was for now. Anyway, December 12th. Again, 6:43 p.m. Mercury enters Sagittarius. So for that, this article blog is dated, and it was written, or it's showing that it's for the period of December 12th, 2018 through January 4th, 2019. So this was written in, for this time period now. Mercury, the info guy, has very mixed feelings about being in Sagittarius. Expansive Sagittarius can be overwhelming to detail-oriented Mercury because small things can get blown out of proportion here, and tales become taller than usual. Yet, Mercury's time in this sign can end up being a blessing too, as open-minded and adventurous Sagittarius helps us to broaden our thoughts. Because Sagittarius is such a visionary, our minds end up wandering far and wide during this transit. Mercury has a reputation for being a bit of a wild card when it moves into this bold and sometimes reckless sign. That's because Mercury is all about ideas and words, and Sagittarius is all about action. This combination could lead to speaking without thinking, accidentally saying something rude, or spouting off things that simply aren't true. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, Mercury is concerned with getting down to the nitty-gritty, and Sagittarius likes looking at life through a broader lens. Because Sagittarius always has its sights set on the future, Mercury's presence in this sign supports visions of tomorrow. The trick is to use meticulous Mercury's knack for filling in all the details so that the picture you're selling is the one that actually develops. Exuberant Sagittarius adds a touch of excitement wherever he goes, which means Mercury in Sagittarius can be a time of enthusiastic words, confident messages, and passionate debates. The key to this transit is to drop your prejudices, but not your reason. In the desire to find answers to life's biggest questions, it's imperative that we appreciate different points of view. We must all remember to think before we speak while Mercury is in Sagittarius. That's because things could come flying out of our mouths without checking to see if they're true, or before considering others' feelings. This is just like when Mercury was retrograde there. I told you all the same thing. Watch what you say. Like, say what you mean and mean what you say. We need to triple check our words during this transit so that we don't end up coming across as fools or saying things that we really don't mean. Sagittarius is represented by the archer, the explorer, which means our possibilities are endless while Mercury is traveling here. We're encouraged to broaden our minds and horizons now, making this a great time to start thinking about taking a trip somewhere, going back to school, or starting a new job. And it goes on to talk about when Mercury is retrograde there, or when it is when Mercury is in Sagittarius in your natal chart. So you may want to go to this article to read further if that applies to you. But I am going to move on to the next transit, which is December 15th at 6:11 a.m. when Uranus will be semi-square Neptune. For this, I went to cafeastrology.com/aspects/Uranus-semi-square-Neptune. What does Uranus semi-square Neptune mean? The answer depends on whether it's an aspect occurring in your natal chart, currently forming in the cosmos from transit to transit, transiting your chart, or happening in a chart comparison. However, this aspect between planets has a common general theme. The following shows interpretations of Uranus in semi-square aspect to Neptune in these various forms as well as general. Transit to transit. With Uranus forming a semi-square to Neptune, we can feel particularly inspired now, although we may feel restless if our dreams are no longer fulfilling us, keeping us hopeful. Watch for impractical ventures and unusual tangents that may not last. And then it goes on to talk about if it's in your natal chart and other things like that. So I gave you that link so you can go there and read the rest if you're interested. I'm going to the dice and I'm beginning with sex. Let's start with sex. Also, try again. Maybe the womp womp. We gotta try again. Oh, I hope not. I hope that's not attached to the sex. And eat cake, which could be. Never mind. Some of you might be celebrating birthdays or some other occasion. This could be holiday parties. Again, it's Hanukkah, L'chaim, or happy birthday. Okay? Spirit says dirty movie, which could be like FaceTiming and stuff. Eat cake, still. And no. Going to the cards. In both decks, I'm beginning with the wheel. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The wheel is representative of Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. Maybe because this week the Sagittarius new moon also fell into this week, and Jupiter, Sagittarius' ruler, is currently stationed there himself. Also the sun is there, so Sagittarius is popping, and like we just read, the Mercury's moving there also. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. The wheel is also connected to the fixed signs. That would be Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Speaking of Scorpio, perhaps, the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. The wheel, The Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. Wheel. Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Actually, I'm preparing this reading on the 7th, which is the day of the new moon in Sagittarius. That could be why these cards turned up too. The Wheel and the Eight of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, maybe even going back to school. If you have not seen my new moon in Sagittarius reading and you're interested in it, it is posted. I know a bunch of you guys do not get notifications, although you're subscribed. Back to the Ace of Air. So on this note, I will cut after this one. Again, it's all about new ideas. It can be about triumph too, like after hard times, after difficulty, now we're on top, you know. Like that game in 50 Cent song. Right, hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. He had been down, he had been the underdog, but now, you know, triumph over all that stuff. And the Seven of Earth, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Very nice. And now our overall energy is the Ace of Fire, which is quite appropriate. And there's a big moon back here too. So that's like Sagittarius moon all over again. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. This can also be connected to the sex die and somebody getting the wand. You know, this is the Ace of Wands also. It's about a new start. Could be a new relationship, new job. Something or someone about which you're passionate. Oh, as I was, you know, getting the overall energy, the wheel jumped out again, landed on the floor. So that may mean something too. Crowning the masculine. It is Major Arcana card 5, Unity, which is the Hierophant or the High Priest. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations. Seek out mentors and like-minded friends. The Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus, or perhaps another earth sign, could be. And can be about commitment, marriage, coming into contact with like a government authority or some sort of higher institution, maybe even school. Or sometimes it's just about needing to make some adjustments to your surroundings, like where or by whom or what you are surrounded. Maybe you no longer align with some places that you used to hang out or people you used to hang out with, even if they're family members, and you just got to, make adjustments, some cuts, or take some distance for a while until your vibrations are at a more favorable frequency to one another. Masculine surrounded by the Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. This could be Venus, ruler of Taurus. Could also be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes in your life, an actual person. Court cards tend to represent actual people. Could be your own energy, masculine, as Venus, or, a Queen of Swords, cutting things away, maybe both. As I just said, this can be about need to making adjustments. Queen of Swords does that like nobody else. This could be something, for example, like a commitment into which you're entering with a Queen of Swords, for example, or again, you're a Queen of Swords, you're getting involved with a Taurus, perhaps. Not necessarily romantic. This is a general reading, so there could be some other connection between, a Taurus and an air sign, perhaps. At the masculine subconscious, is the Ten of Air. So some difficulty coming to an end, which explains why we saw the Ace of Air twice too. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may be recovering from an addiction. I actually have probably about 3 clients that recently told me, or that are recently returned from rehab. You know, so there could be others. This might be like a real period for that. The outcome in one of the spreads in the Sagittarius full moon reading was sobriety, and I took it to mean several different things, but definitely that could be one of them. This could also be other, like an end to some other kind of betrayal. Maybe this person that you're thinking about cutting off betrayed you. You went through some other, so you experienced some difficult or hard times with them, and so you no longer align, and you got to cut them off. That could be too. Or again, the places you used to hang out, the things you used to do, maybe getting high. Maybe that doesn't work for you anymore. The Ten of Air or addictions even don't even have to actually be, substance abuse, although that's a possibility. It could be any toxic relationship, something unhealthy, something codependent that just doesn't work for you anymore. That's going to end. Crowning the feminine, the Five of Fire. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. This can be, like jealous people, people that are envious of you. That's the first thing I picked up. And it can be like competition in your job, or somebody that is, trying to cause trouble at your job, or something that came out first. If it's not that, then in general, if the Five of Fire is not about taking action, like from a positive standpoint, because it does tend to represent Mars for me, although I'm not a fan of the fives in tarot in general, for the most part. It's when it's conflict, if it's not conflict, like one's own inner conflict and, being conflicted, then it tends to be some sort of drama between close friends and or family. Feminine surrounded by the world. So that this could be like a third energy. And this is also representative of like the element of fire for me. I haven't attributed it to any particular sign, but it's the element of fire. So it could be connected to this Five of Fire, and whatever this, foolishness is in your life coming to an end, the universe helping to ease you out of whatever that situation is. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. 21+3 could have something to do with a love triangle or some other situation involving 3 people. In the feminine subconscious, it's the Page of Fire, outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So from the 3 of these together, from a positive standpoint, again, a funky situation, you're being eased out of it. And one of the ways that the universe is helping you to a better situation is by pushing you to take action on an opportunity with which you're presented. Crowning. It's another 5. This whole row is 5 because this is also like a 5 of Earth too, except for it's stronger than this one because it's Major Arcana. But again, this represents the sign of Taurus, and it is a 5 too, Major Arcana card 5. So then we have the 5 of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdoms to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. I think, again, somebody is getting messed with at their job. I don't know. That could, maybe it's just 1 or 2 people, or maybe I'm speaking to some, like, one person specifically. I don't know, but I felt that right away. And these 3 cards would signify that too. If that's not the case, or other, possibilities, meanings for this, is a feeling of lack. There could be something connected to like your bonus. It is holiday time. Something funny going on there. A bonus, a promotion, some sort of recognition. But this is not just about money. There can be any kind of lack, feeling of lack, or fear of lack. It might not even be real lack, but you're just worried about lack. And as it relates to relationships, if it's the 5 of Earth connected, let's say, to the Hierophant, as it relates to relationships, it could be fear of, like repeating some pattern from a past relationship where you you know, you did feel lack and void and not wanting to repeat it. So now you're paranoid about moving into something else. And that could be you being conflicted, you know, in your own head here too. But the universe, again, guiding you to take the opportunity. That could be applied to a relationship, to a job, you know, something that you're afraid of, but you're being moved to leap at it. At the root, foundation here. The Queen of Earth. Thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Now we've got the Queen of Earth crossing the Queen of Air. So there's a few characters here, but again, both of these could represent Venus or Mercury too. They could represent Mercury. The Venus rules Libra and Gemini as far as air, and Taurus as far as earth. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So again, they could be representative of either one, especially since, again, Mercury has entered or enters this week Sagittarius. This could be connected to this. This is another character. They may be younger, if it's an actual person. They may be younger than these queens that are in, you know, on the scene here. With the foundation, or sort of like where we started, possibly being connected to finances of the material also. That might be why there is fear here, connected to lack. Could be worried about, you know, a business or something. This could have to do with signing a contract, being nervous there. At the heart of the matter, the Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Signing contracts and stuff. I think that's just making somebody nervous. And it could be a new job, and maybe it's a contractual job. You have to sign, you know, you're accepting the offer, or again, commitment, maybe buying a home. And this can just be you being conflicted or taking action, depending upon how these apply to you. But I'll further clarify them for the spread for everybody by moving on to my animal tarot, and again beginning with the wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. So we got to remember from where we started too. We started with the wheel trice, which is, it's all good. It's good energy, and that, so there's no reason for us to have this fear here. Actually, open to the Nine of Autumn. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant new idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. The Wheel. And the Magician, all about our manifestation, like bringing what we want into our lives. That's why we got to let go of thoughts like this, because, you know, you can manifest the negativity and you can manifest the lack, basically. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. So that's on what you want to focus. The Wheel. Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. And one more. It is the Prince of Summer. Oh, and look, the King of Summer is here too. Both of them like sticking out. All right, so the Prince of Summer was first. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move quickly during such a whirlwind encounter, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer is a Scorpio, if it's connected to this wheel, or perhaps a Pisces or Cancer. Someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be a direct, water sign. Doesn't have to be. And then there's another one here who might be a little bit older. The King of Summer. Warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful, a trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And it is the Devil, Major Arcana card 15, or Ego in this deck. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation. That could be what your fear is here, too. You could feel trapped in a situation. Maybe a marriage. Maybe you want to cut or relationship, and you want to cut that person off. You've had enough. You want these difficult times to come to an end. Maybe it's an earth sign. Doesn't have to be, though. Maybe specifically a Taurus. Maybe a Capricorn. So yeah, you're feeling like you're trapped in a situation, but it's not true. Be careful about, make sure that you don't overly focus upon material wealth also, like in a negative way, because remember, this is material wealth potentially that's coming to you, but if you're overly focused about it in a negative way, you're going to manifest negativity. So be careful about it and break free of negative thinking, period. Overall energy is the Four of Autumn. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. Atop the Hierophant is the Nine of Spring. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. And this can, again, have to do with the relationship or with a home, with a marriage. Whatever direction you're taking, whether it's toward someone or something or away from it, the universe says keep going. Keep going. Like you have it in you to complete what it is you've set out to do. Atop the Queen of Air is Major Arcana card Release in this deck, or Death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. May involve a Scorpio. Release or Death represents the sign of Scorpio. Could be something between an air sign and a Scorpio, or they could both be showing up here because they're both about cutting things off and out, of our lives that no longer resonate, which I think is the primary reason for the two of them showing up together. Particularly under the Hierophant. And atop the Ten of Air, the masculine subconscious, is the Two of Air. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. So again, that could have to do with, walking toward or away from a situation or relationship. And, like you're thinking, well, other people would want me to do this. I don't want to. And, or the other way around, other people wouldn't want me to do this and I want to. You're guided to, if you really want this difficulty to end and you want, to move on from the codependency and the toxicity, then you're going to need to do what your heart says to do and not what these other people would have you do. Atop the Five of Fire for the feminine, it is the Prince of Fire or Spring. Passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing you can't handle if you follow your own inner guidance. And this could be Jupiter or the Sagittarius moon coming in to help you, or just the energy of Sagittarius in general. Again, from a positive standpoint, telling you to take action, right? That some opportunity is coming your way. And again, you're guided to jump on it. Atop the World So a difficult or long drawn out, some kind of situation that you're over it, and the universe is helping you to be out of it for real too. Top that world is the Princess of Winter. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. The Princess of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And for us, I think it's all about Mercury, ruler of Gemini, in Sagittarius, a fire energy. Why? Because it's doing all this talking about basically meaning what you say and saying what you mean. And, you know, when you are the recipient of one of those messages, to receive it appropriately too, and not be like reactionary. And atop the page of fire is the Four of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. And so we have this decision, or the need to make one potentially, mirroring the masculine's need to make a decision. His Two of Winter, or swords, mirroring our Four of Winter, or swords. Think things through before making it. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you anywhere, though. It's not going to get you any closer to a resolution. If you're trying to come up with a resolution, meditation and prayer will bring the answers you seek. For those for whom this is about, like, deciding, should I go on a trip, vacation, or something like that, because I connect the Four of Winter to the energy of the Six of Winter, which is like actually going on a trip, or, you know, or traveling. And this one is like the planning stage. Again, you're guided to, you know, where you have the opportunity and you're able, jump on it. Work, it's figurative, moving forward, maybe with an air sign or with a fire sign. And, you know, some sort of relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic, whatever it is, move forward. A job, you have an opportunity to go for it, do that. Atop the Five of Earth and the lack, you move away from it. Move away from it with the Eight of Summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. So you could be at a job where you feel is a dead-end job and you're getting a new opportunity for a new one. Or again, you could be in a relationship that you feel is going nowhere fast, and you want out of that. You're just feeling lack, and you want to move away from lack, which makes perfect sense to me. Atop the Queen of Earth, the King of Spring, another character. Inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up to a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. A Leo wants to give a Taurus the boot. That's one thing. This is a couple. This is a couple. And there's a Taurus there. And I got it as the boot. That's how I received it. It's a Leo. Although the King of Spring is, you know, it can be any fire sign. A Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. We have the Page, the Knight, and the King all here. So there could be in other scenarios involving possibly males, but doesn't have to be. I mean, these aren't gender specific or sexuality specific or anything. But there could be 3 men, perhaps fire sign men, involved in some sort of situation too. But yeah, I felt, for one thing, there's a breakup or a desire to break up between a Leo and a Taurus. At the heart of the matter, atop the Ace of Earth, is the Two of Autumn. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. You need time for work and play. You got to find the balance there. You need time for your relationships, you know, and other aspects of your life. You got to find balance there. And if you're deciding whether or not to take a job or to start your own company, again, the cards are very favorable for that. This could be a decision having to do with the earthly, like what should I do? And they are very, very favorable for you to move forward with that. Let me see what else I see. I actually also feel possibly a marriage proposal. Again, with this representing marriage commitment, this telling you to go for it. And this telling you to move on from your feelings of lack, but the feeling of lack comes from like a past relationship or maybe even a past marriage. This signifies like divorce or the end of some sort of relationship. But I think, again, in the connection to this, it can be past. And somebody may be a cuspian, a Sagittarius Capricorn. And the masculine, he's trying to decide whether or not to get over his feelings of codependency that are attached to this old failed relationship and move on, and again, maybe propose to something, or if not proposing marriage, proposing, moving on, or maybe even moving in together, something of the earthly, with the two of earth sitting here underneath this. I don't know if he's one of them, I'm just feeling Sag Cap. So one of them could be a Cuspian, or maybe one is a Sag and one is a Capricorn. That's possible. I also could be feeling the Capricorn energy as attached to like the devil sort of energy, which is one of codependence and toxicity too. That's also possible. In any case, however it may apply to you, the idea is to let go of any negative emotions or cords of attachment or things from the past onto which you're holding that would be keeping you back, or fear of what other people might think. Maybe people from your past, like maybe you're worried about what the ex-wife is going to think, how she's going to react to you getting married again, or your last girlfriend, or whatever that's the case, something like that. Again, the feminine is just guided to jump on any opportunity that comes to her. And I guess on that note, we'll take some advice and see what we need to surrender on each side, beginning with surrender to success. You're ready to experience abundance. Yeah, there is a lot of abundance coming to both with this here in the center too. Don't look back at previous roadblocks, right? Isn't it funny how the angels, they know what cards to give us ahead of time. Yeah, don't look back at these previous roadblocks or difficulties. Instead, leap into an exciting, leap into action, exciting new world of possibilities. I love that. Surrender your fear of change. Oh, perfect. The universe is reminding you that you're cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, right? Talked about that, your health or relationship, or if you just fear aging or death. Repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Surrender to success and surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs. And remember that no is a complete sentence. I'll do one more. Surrender to play. That came up today too. Time for work and time for play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Exactly. Do something fun instead. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. It'll help you get your oomph back. And maybe even to gain some clarity. Like when you're not focused on overanalyzing and overthinking. Something may just come in. Surrender to play. And surrender your fear of changes back. Overall energy is surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more efficiently achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. Oh, the feminine got 2 advice cards from the animals. From Angel Therapy, we're going to begin with cancel, clear, delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as they rapidly are manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. Exactly. An opening to be willing to forgive. This keeps popping up. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. That may be necessary here too. You got to forgive the person from the past for whatever it is they caused in your life so that you're able to release it and move on with somebody else. Cancel, clear, delete. Vegetarian, vegan, fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. I spoke during my moon reading that, my opinion, organic, whatever it is you're into, vegetables, meat, whatever, is better than inorganic, whatever else there is out there. Cancel, clear, delete. And if you get nervous, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Exactly. That's what I was saying about the Hierophant. Like things with which you no longer align, you have to let go of them. Even if you enjoyed them, people you enjoyed, relationships you enjoyed, things you enjoyed, places you enjoyed. If you don't align anymore, you have to let them go. And the overall energy is emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity as it is a gift to us all. And lastly, a card each from my soul's journey oracle, beginning with friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And opening to failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And when you believe that, when you can change your mindset to basically like pretty much everything is good, because either you see the immediate growth, benefit, value in it, or you learn something, which is also immediate value. All right, 2. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Amen. Failure. Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. And the overall energy is honesty, which will be reminded is an important theme this week, that with Mercury entering Sagittarius, we want to make sure that we're being honest and we're not, just like talking out of the side of our asses or necks, as they say. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Oh, did you see that? A card just jumped out on its own and landed here. So I guess it's for all of us. I'll start with this one. And it is humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Keep your energy light. Like a Sagittarius, right? It's a mutable sign. So it's youthful, optimistic, risk taker, you know, hashtag YOLO. Okay. That's how you're going to want to be. For the masculine, further advice from the Soul's Journey Oracle is relationships. Yep, I knew it. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Exactly. You have to leave the ones that are not. Whether it is romantic, it's friendship, it's familial, you know, you'll get up with somebody again later. So we'll get back later. Right now I have to cut this for, you know, my health and yours perhaps. Feminine, surrender. Stop trying to control everything. I can release my need to control. From the angel therapy cards, masculine, your advice is base chakra, which is also called the root chakra. And it's like our whole, it's kind of like our body. It's like, you know, your whole spine and neck and head. It's, and it is the one that's attached to the fire element, to the color red. You're going to want to work on that. Choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. So we had that here. Here's the red. Here's the fire with the energy of that earth, right? Your material life, your home life, your finances. Feminine, vacuum away fear. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, and this situation, and as well as everyone involved. So we had potentially some fear here too with this, or feelings of lack or fear with this 5 of Earth that could be applied to, you know, holding us back perhaps, and, you know, that we were afraid to leap at the opportunity with which is being presented. If that's the case, you're going to want to, again, call upon support in releasing any fear. Masculine, more relationship stuff for you. It's the Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Also, possibly heightened psychic abilities coming with the energy of this card. The Page of Water could be a younger water sign. We saw a young male come up in the in the Sagittarius moon reading. You know, younger, a child even. Or Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, someone likened to those traits or attributes. And you could be receiving, you know, some sort of message, emotional or loving message, or you could be giving one. You could be, making a proposal. For the feminine, they have their 9 of fire here. Now we got our own, telling us to keep going, right? Forge ahead. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage, like a lion, and believe in yourself. From the animals, the King of Winter, intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. This could be a judge, again, maybe divorce, marriage, lawyer, some sort of professional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. The King of Winter can also be Mercury himself, or Venus herself, even though it's the king, or a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes in your life, perhaps. And there may be something going on between an older air sign and a younger water sign. This is our second time seeing the air and water come together. We have here the Queen of Air with Death, which represents the sign of Scorpio. So maybe specifically an older air sign and a Scorpio, a younger Scorpio, maybe, you know. The feminine got 2 from the animals. The first is the Ace of Summer. Very nice. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights, or perhaps combinations of those. This is often about reunion, or meeting somebody new for those of us who are single. Somebody could walk into your life, as they say. And it's another Queen of Spring as well. Talented, brilliant, independent, and charming is she. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for you at once, but you can do it. So like, don't be afraid of all the opportunity that's facing you. You got this, is what it's saying. The Queen of Spring is a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and is the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot, to the King of Springs, masculine. And lastly, from the Surrender Oracle to the masculine, surrender non-action. All right, the Two of Winter, very much a card of non-action for me. I'll read it again. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. Okay, that means you have not made the decision. You have not taken action. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Then the angels come back through and say, let that energy of non-action go. Now is the time to be still and not act. Oh, they want you to be non-action. They want the non-action. They're happy with that. It's surrender to non-action. I said surrender non-action. But you know what? I think that surrender non-action is a message to some people too. First of all, stuff that comes out of my mouth, it's never for no reason. Even if I don't know what the reason is at the time, because that happens sometimes too. But again, I felt already with the Nine of Spring up here that some had already decided what they needed to do, and they have to actually do it. So for those who've already come to a decision and you know what you need to do, but you have not actually put it into action, for those of you, my first sentence or first reading of this card, misreading of this card, I'm going to say applies to you. Surrender the non-action, cut it out, and go and move forward based on the guidance you've been given. And those still teetering and maybe stuck between here. There's two needs to make a decision here. 1, 2. Maybe you need to wait a little bit longer and see what kind of clarity comes to you. Maybe do some meditation and see if that helps to bring that clarity. It says, let others come to you. Not only others, but let information come to you, right? Let the clarity come to you. Let intuitive thoughts and feelings come to you. It's sort of like the High Priestess. Very High Priestess. And the High Priestess is also an air sign, a Gemini, and a 2. She is Major Arcana card 2. And she's also about non-action. She's first, before she takes the action, she's very observant first. And it's sort of like what was described when it was talking about Gemini and Sagittarius, and when I read about Mercury, it said, like Mercury was about ideas and communication, and Sag was about the action. So we are about like thinking and speaking, but maybe not always taking action, except for the Geminis, right? Again, we're risk takers. So it is that very Gemini and 2 energy, which is connected to the High Priestess, with her being a Gemini. So that's that for you, masculine. Look what I did. I put your advice card here, and yikes. For us, surrender obsessive thinking. This is exactly what I was just talking about. So not only air signs, but the feminine in general. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you to bring clarity or even to solve the problem. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly reading. If you did like the video, please actually like the video. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button and also the bell. If you already are, but you don't get your notifications and you need to, hope that you see my posts on Facebook or IG that I put something up, which I shouldn't even have to do, then check your settings, make sure that you're still subscribed and that, you're still set up to receive the notifications. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers and sponsors and supporters, as well as those of you who support me here on YouTube. Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube. Yeah, Facebook people too. Thank you guys also. On YouTube is what I meant to say. You want a reading or any services from me? All my information will be at the bottom and probably across the screen. Queenofswordsthelightworker.com is my website, and my email address is pretty much the same. It's queenofswordsthelightworker@gmail.com. And of course, you can get me on social too. You know, anyone that you feel to reach out. Namaste, guys. I'll be back with love.
My feet won't touch the ground.